Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, May 22, 2025. Jamaica has recorded its lowest ever decline in the poverty rate of 50% in 29 years since first measured in 1989. The period under review is 2023 and shows a reduction to 8.2%, down from 16.7% in 2021. The data is pulled from the Jamaica Survey of Living Conditions and was revealed by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, at its quarterly media briefing on Wednesday. Director General Dr. Wayne Henry says contributing factors include post-COVID-19 economic recovery, increased employment levels, 85.7% rise in minimum wage since 2021, strengthened social protection programs, continued remittance inflows, and a reduction in inequality.
These developments meant that many low-income earners saw real improvements in their standard of living, lifting many above the poverty line.
Dr. Henry says a further breakdown of the data shows improvements across the country. This includes a decline to 3% in the Greater Kingston metropolitan area, 9% in other urban centers, and an 11.5% drop in rural areas.
In addition to this national decline in poverty, there was a reduction in food poverty, also referred to as extreme poverty. In the Jamaican context, food poverty refers to the inability of a household to afford the minimum daily caloric intake required for good health. In 2023, the food poverty rate fell to 2.8%, down from 5.8% in 2021 and 4% in 2019, marking the lowest level on record.
The PIOJ says no estimate was available for 2022 due to the initiation of the National Population and Housing Census. The poverty data for 2024 will be made available later this year. Responding to the reduction in the poverty rate, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has hailed the milestone as a validation of the government's economic program. Dr. Holness says this includes practical and instrumental measures to improve the lives of every Jamaican through education and skills training, targeted social support, and economic opportunities.
We have been very instrumental, and I think that has been a critical part of the success of our program in alleviating and addressing poverty. So what it means is that there are less persons in Jamaica that could be considered absolutely poor. What is the objective now? What's the next step of the government? The next step of the government is to end absolute poverty in Jamaica.
Jamaica's economy grew by an estimated 0.8% during the January to March 2025 quarter when compared to the same period in 2024. The modest growth was largely driven by increased employment and higher levels of consumer confidence, which boosted domestic demand. The figures were revealed by Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, during the agency's recent quarterly briefing. At this morning's post-cabinet press briefing, Finance Minister Favour Williams provided a breakdown of the performance across key sectors.
The goods producing sector, that sector increased 1% overall. And when you drill down into it, agriculture, forestry, and fishing was positive at 0.1%. And similarly, mining and quarrying improved by 0.5%. Manufacturing was up 1.5%.
The construction industry also grew by 1.5%.
The construction pattern is different. It had been negative, but if you recall, during the period last year, the government spent significantly to repair schools, roads, and other buildings. So the construction industry benefited from that spend, and it's solidly positive for this most recent quarter.
The services sector also saw improvements.
Of all the 8 sectors that make up the services industry, 7 were positive in the range of 0.5% to 1.8%. There was only one that had a slight negative, and that was real estate, renting, and business activities.
The PIOJ has projected that the economy is expected to grow within the range of 0.5 to 1.5% for the April to June quarter. For the 2025-2026 fiscal year, overall growth is projected to fall within the range of 1 to 2%. Harsher penalties are coming for perpetrators of domestic and sexual violence. That's the word from Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange. The minister was speaking in Parliament on Tuesday amid recent acts of violence against women and children. She says laws will be further strengthened to ensure greater protection for victims. The minister pointed out that a joint select committee of Parliament had been meeting with a view to amend the Domestic Violence Act.
The public was invited to make submissions, which have now been compiled. The committee will meet over the next 2 months to complete the overhaul of the Domestic Violence Act. Additionally, the government has increased funding for psychosocial support to victims and survivors. The effect of this is that we are now providing better services to victims and creating mechanisms for resolution of conflicts.
In the meantime, Minister Grange says the Jamaica Constabulary Force has established units to respond to incidents of domestic and sexual violence. Police officers and first responders have also received additional training to deal with these cases.
The police have established 10 domestic violence intervention centers that are managed by police officers who are trained to intervene through a variety of methods, including home visits, referrals, and counseling.
Another 100 compressed natural gas CNG buses are scheduled to arrive in Jamaica in the coming weeks for the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz made the announcement Tuesday during his contribution to the sectoral debates in Parliament. Minister Vaz says the shipment includes 70 CNG-powered and 30 diesel coaches.
All the buses are already on the ship. That means June 25 next month, 100 new buses will arrive and be delivered in Jamaica. It is important to know that 10% of these buses will be specifically made for the disabled community.
This marks the second phase of a three-phase program to expand the JUTC's fleet. The first 100 buses were delivered in July 2024. In addition, 46 midlife buses are being refurbished at a cost of $203.2 million. They include 16 Golden Dragon 9M units used on hill routes and 30 Volvo diesel articulated buses. And finally, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority Rada's extension services to farmers have been boosted with the acquisition of 2 new tractors. The tractors, which are to serve farmers in St. Elizabeth and Manchester, were handed over recently by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining at the launch of the Rada Connect initiative. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says the program is part of a wider government push to improve agricultural mechanization and to modernize land preparation across the island.
We know that we have to increase the Rada equipment pool if we are going to serve more farmers, especially as we look at the challenges in relation to labor. So, in St. Elizabeth, the Rada equipment pool has 3 tractors, 2 harrows, 2 ridgers, and a few equipment tailored for onion production and mulching.
The minister also revealed plans to establish a subsidized tractor service through public-private partnerships.
We are going to partner with the private sector because oftentimes people have tractors that are underutilized. And when a farmer needs a tractor, he needs it now. He can't wait.
Meanwhile, Minister Green confirmed that Rada's St. Elizabeth office will receive 4 more tractors in the coming weeks. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.